Welcome back to another YouTube video on the Searchroo channel, and today we are looking into a website that has grown arms and legs over the last 2 years, I want to say, Carl. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, it looks maybe even a little bit longer, really, since 2021. It's kind of been, showing a bit of growth throughout, really.
Yeah, and the really interesting thing that Carl actually pointed out was that it is in a pretty difficult industry. It's in the CBD industry slash vape industry as well. So if you want to share your screen and we can deep dive into what these guys are doing and why their SEO strategy is working really well.
Yeah. So the website's vapeaholic.co.uk. So you can see down here, they've got explosive growth from an RD point of view, traffic, and keywords.
Hmm.
Now, when you look down here and you look at the organic pages that are actually ranking, you can definitely see that way back when in 2017 when they started, they're probably just a little baby site, and then they've actually started really focusing and expanding. It could be via product lines and having good e-commerce SEO knowledge. We'll take a little deep dive into that.
Yeah.
Um,
So the really important thing here as well is obviously Carl's just mentioned that they have grown the amount of actual live pages on their website, but they've also been growing the amount of backlinks as well. So it's kind of going hand in hand. So both the link count of the entire website is on an upward trajectory, but also the amount of pages that's on the website also follows the same trajectory.
Yeah, exactly. So just taking a quick look, like almost not a super deep dive, but just a quick look, you can see that some of their anchors like Vapeaholic, they're trying to get like, and that's in the metro as well. So these are pretty powerful. They could have probably leveraged an EMD link here, but instead they thought, you know what, let's do it via our brand.
Yeah.
And that branded link probably would then set up this page for success. And again, this is kind of what they've done further down. So Vapeaholic. There's a lot of Vapeaholic, and then they also go down the brand, the actual names or flavors of the brands, which is pretty cool to see. Because a lot of people tend to go very aggressive, and
Hmm.
especially in this niche where it's quite a competitive niche. I'm
Yeah,
about to click
definitely.
Anchor and probably see. Bear in mind, we haven't looked at this site before. We just kind of picked it up and went with it. But straight away, look at this. So, anchors, the top anchors on the entire site are their URLs. So you
Yeah.
can see the amount of RDs here going through to their URLs. You've then got obviously singular terms, so cannabis stuff like that. And it looks like there's quite a few of those as well. Um,
One thing that's super important that these guys have done that a lot of people that are in the e-commerce space or the guys that aren't in the actual more difficult industries is they've essentially created a really strong foundation by doing the actual branded anchors, which is exactly what Carl said. But if you're just going after relevance all the time, or if you're just going after exact match anchors, you will essentially crumble after building a few links. So always, when you are doing link building, make certain that you are creating branded anchors that's essentially helping the foundation of the website, and then you can go a little bit more aggressive with the exact match anchors.
Exactly. So, like, just looking at this, so type in the vapeaholic term. Bear in mind, this site's been around since 2017. You can see straight away, like, some of their anchors from way back when are all like 2019, all vapeaholic terms, or at least they were included in there. So, if we
Mhm.
then remove that out and click show results, um, and see if we can see. So, look, this is us just tweaking it to be based off first seen and the date. Look at this. It's all vapeaholic. Get this deal. There's a one best ways to quit smoking, but it's very few and far between. So the top bunch of anchors that this site has going to it early doors, and that's the key. This is one of the fundamentals that people get wrong, is they go too aggressive out the box.
Yeah.
It takes time to build a brand. Look at the date gap here, 2017, 2018, 2019, and then we're starting to get a little bit more. Could be they start picking up a little bit of paid ads and building stuff up that way. They could be they have built links at this point. Fateaholic, links to Target 492, but you'd have to dig a bit deeper to see how many they built. So there was definitely links being built at that point.
Yeah.
Go back. Um,
So one very quick question, Carl. If you were going to replicate this SEO strategy from a link building point of view, am I correct in saying that the first type of links would be obviously the foundational with the actual brand aid, and then at what point would you actually pivot more towards the exact match, more towards the money phrases?
yeah, so it depends on how you were like doing it. So these guys seem to try to do it more on an internal page point of view. So they're kind of trying to build up the main brand. So what I would do in that case, I would be building up my main. So the first few links, let's say 100 links, because it's a big niche, look, 6.1 KRDs. The first 100, 200 links branded,
Yeah.
homepage branded anchors, or URL, or just brand in general. Then I'd probably chuck in some, if you've got an About Us page on there with some team members, I'd chuck in some team members' names as well. I'd consider them part of the brand.
Yeah. So
Then,
that's also helping with the EAT side of stuff as well.
exactly. So then down the line, after that point, I would then be building branded to the target pages. Then once obviously all dependent on specific pages, let's pick a keyword that these guys rank for. Best salt Nick vapes. Keyword they seem to rank for, nice and easy one for them. Rank number 2. If you see here straight away, there's barely any RDs going on. So I would probably build to this page 2 to 3 anchors saying Vaporholic, maybe 1 anchor saying Salt Nick vapes.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need the best term, especially when your page is going to have best in it. So it's not an exact match anchor to the page URL, but it is an exact match anchor in the sense that we want to rank for that.
It's
But
more of a
again,
partial match.
exactly. I would still class it as exact. Well, say I don't really. So we class it as a target anchor, and then a
Right.
partial match anchor would be where it's just like because best is more. You can just drop best. It's kind of
Right.
like
Okay.
best top.
Yeah.
Because they're still saying salt Nick vape. If it was just Nick vapes, I would say it was partial. Or if it was salt vapes, but because you've got of the 4 keywords,
You've
3
got
of them
3 of
mentioned,
them. Right. Okay.
I would still say it's kind of exact.
So then,
Depending on probably the top level.
so just so I can plan it out in my head and everyone that's watching, so you would first of all do branded links to the homepage, then you would do some links through to the about the team page, so you're building your EAT and your trustworthiness. But then from a content point of view and from a topical authority point of view, you're looking at what Vaporholic is essentially ranking for, and you're picking out the easy to win keywords. You're replicating those pages on your website to begin with, and then you're just tapping some of those pages with links.
Exactly.
Right.
Because
Okay.
I think even with these guys, obviously they have built a link here, but it could be they've got to a point where their budget's probably getting quite exhausted. There is a fine balance, especially are these an e-commerce site? I
Yeah.
think. So as an e-commerce site, there is a fine balance of marketing spend, stock expenses, paid ads expenses, staffing, warehouses. You know what I mean? There is a fine balance.
Yeah.
So it
Definitely.
could be that they just haven't. It might not be in this month's or this year's budget for hitting some of these internal pages a little bit more. It could be that they're not seeing the ROI from the pages. Again, that you'll only know that once you start trying to rank for it. But what they are doing and what you would be doing in that case is building that topical authority.
Yeah.
So again, topical authority for anyone who doesn't know is topical coverage, so covering the entirety of the topic, plus historical data, so traffic and historical data. That means you could have a website which is all about the Bible, This is an example, not my example, honestly. Actually, let's pick something different. You could have a website that's all about water,
Yeah.
and you have one page on that website which is about coffee, and that page gets 1 million views. Google's going to consider your website more of an authority on coffee and
Yeah.
not necessarily the water.
So the most important thing about topical authority when we speak about it is it's kind of like a twofold really. First of all, you need to make certain that the pages are actually getting traffic through to them, because there's no point if you have 1 million pages talking about water and it's on page 600 of Google, because nobody even clicks past page 2, right? But then also, once you start building your topical authority, you might not even need that many links. So, for example, obviously, we have just said that Vaporaholic have 6,000 referring domains through to their website. But if you have really strong topical authority, you might only need 4,000. You might need 3,000 as well. So that's always another thing to bear in mind in the back of your head if you're trying to do budget SEO. So you might have tighter budgets than Vaporaholic, or you might be spending on Facebook ads or PPC. That's another thing to take into consideration. You can always go down the topical authority route as well, which is one thing that Searcher do very well as well. When we are trying to do link building or topical authority for our clients, we always point out, have you done articles on this, or have you considered building links to this page and that page? So we are experts when it comes to actually helping our clients win on topical authority.
Another interesting part of this website. So I'm just, while you've been chatting there, I'm kind of trying to see if there's anything else that I would find.
Yeah.
Um, Another interesting thing is it looks like they've done a 301 redirect at some point. I'm just checking to see if that 301 actually has any RDs to it. So yeah, it was way back when, 50 odd RDs. Whether or not most of them have dropped now or just the Ahrefs crawler's not picking it up.
Yeah.
Because actually, if you go back to Vaporaholic, I'm pretty sure you can see it here, cbdvape.com.
Right. Okay.
So they have done a redirect, but I wouldn't say that.
Would you say that that's been the catalyst, or would you say it's more so been the links? Right. Okay.
No, definitely not. So that's, I wouldn't say that's been a catalyst for change. Again, it's not that powerful a site.
Yeah.
From historic history, it's had 50 oddies way back when. There's definitely within this profile, you've got thetab.com, Metro.
So they do have a really strong backlink profile, whether it's guest posts, niche edits, some PR, and I'm almost certain that they will also be doing tiered links as well, which is again another thing that we've not even touched upon. So if, say, for example, your competitors all have an average of 5,000 referring domains, you might be able to beat them out with 2,500. But if you are obviously doing tiered links as well, helps massively with that.
No, 100%.
So yeah. And again, any of these SEO strategies, if you guys do have any questions, remember to just drop them down in the description, or you can obviously check out the searcheroo.com website. You can book either myself or Carl for a growth strategy for your website as well. Have you got anything else to add, Carl?
No, I would say obviously this website's doing particularly well. Let me just I actually want to load, rather than just always looking, I want to load up the website, because I haven't even looked at this website. Caswell literally just dropped it on us and went, right, let's go. Which is cool, I enjoy. It's good. It's all good, man.
Yeah, it's
Let me have a look. So straight away you can see, they've got linking straight through to top level category pages, which is great. I love seeing this. Again, more content on this homepage, all linking through. So straight away, I'm inclined to say these guys are doing SEO. Just for, or have an SEO who knows what he's doing. It's not uncommon in this niche, obviously. So then let's actually look at
So this is from a topical authority point of view. What Carl's looking at right now is the actual topical authority. Like if you just hover back onto that page or onto that tab again, Carl. So all of these are essentially category pages, which obviously helps with the topical authority that we were talking about. So they've got 10 milliliter e-liquids, 50 milliliter, 100 milliliter. And again, this is just helping with the topical authority.
And again, if you look at the follow on from what you're saying, the URL structure as well. So /vape /10 mil /vape /50 100 mil debonair fantasy ferocious. I don't really know any of these brands, but so then we click through and straight away internal links.
Yeah,
Um,
really good to see.
it's actually quite uncommon whenever I'm looking at
Mm,
most of these guys. Let's see if they actually do it from a product point of view. So again, they are lacking, I would say, from a product point of view. They are
mm,
chain link in related products, but there's nothing within the
there we go.
so there we go. Within additional info, so what they might be doing here is they don't want the user. They're giving all the user its content, and then within the JavaScript, I can't remember what it's called. Basically, the JavaScript tab, they're putting in the internal links to the others, which is brilliant to see.
Yeah,
So this again leads to why these guys are doing such a good job. And then the one last check I usually like to do is load it up, and there's 1,580 pages within Google roughly. Um, yeah, so they're doing pretty well.
yeah. So that has been our review on Vapeaholic. Thanks for reviewing the website with me, Carl.
Yeah, no worries.
And if you guys do have any questions like what I mentioned before, drop them down in the description, or you can obviously go to the Searcheroo website and either book myself or Carl for a growth strategy for your website as well. Thanks.